You're listening to Awakening Code Radio, conversation to raise the vibration.
There are some relatively easy things we can do to pretty significantly increase our health quickly. And the first one is a no-brainer. It's just drinking enough of the good quality water. And I think it's something a lot of us lie to ourselves about. Oh, yeah, I drink plenty of water and, 4, 5, 6 glasses a day. Well, first of all, what kind of water you're drinking? Do you know where your water's coming from? Some bottled water companies have been analyzed and found to be no better than New York City tap water. Our tap water is full of chlorine, chloramines, and fluoride, which are full of health problems. So make sure you're getting a good quality water and making sure you're actually drinking what you think you're drinking. So measure your water and get an idea. A good rule of thumb for people, depending on your size and how much you sweat or do during the day, is 2 to 4 liters of water a day. And that's a lot for a lot of people when they look at how much they're actually drinking. And that's not coffee, that's not soda, that's not energy drinks. That doesn't count, because those chemicals will actually rob water from your body to try to break them down. I'm talking good, pure water.
So, and what do you define as good, pure water? I mean, is it the waters we can buy in a store?
Oftentimes, yeah. There are spring waters that, you'd have to do research, because there are companies that have been called out on, you call this spring water, we've analyzed it, it's really not. But a good quality spring water that you've researched and found to be really clean. Purified water that's something like reverse osmosis is good. It just doesn't have minerals in it, so you still have to eat a lot of greens to get your minerals. Some people are fans of distilled water. Distilled water has nothing in it but water, and that's not naturally what we're meant to ingest. So if you are going to drink distilled water, you certainly need to replace minerals and salts as well. My favorite is a good, clean spring water or a good, clean filtered water that's been alkalized.
What's smart water? Is that alkalized water?
Smart water is purified water. And to my knowledge, they don't do anything to alkalize it. Even some of these bottled water companies who claim to alkalize their water, when it sits in the bottle, even 24 to 48 hours sometimes, it can be tested and found that all the alkalinity is gone. So getting an alkalizer for your faucet is actually the most efficient way to alkalize, or you can buy drops of alkalizing solutions that will help.
Oh, well, that would be like at here local in
health
California.
Food stores, different websites, yeah.
So get alkalizing drops to just the water that you're drinking to put those in there.
Right, and that'll help. As long as it's clean water that's not full of contaminants. Tap water, I don't recommend wasting alkalizing drops on. Don't touch, tap water should be used maybe to clean your floor, and that's about it.
That's it. So don't drink the tap water. And I know I don't drink enough water. It's hard for me to drink enough water. I don't know what it is. If I go into a desert environment where I am hot and high elevation, like at Burning Man, I will drink water like crazy. And it's just my body, I hear my body saying lots of water. Down here, I don't hear that as much, and I feel like I'm just like, I got to drink a lot of water, and it's just,
many of us have lost our taste for water, and it's because of sugar again. The signals in our brain actually after we eat, when we don't really need to eat, the signals in our brain get confused, and we actually think we're hungry when we're actually thirsty. So we end up eating more, which depletes water from our body even further, trying to digest it. And so we've got to get back to a state where we're drinking a lot of that water, detoxifying, so we can get that thirst mechanism back.
2 liters a day. I've heard some rule of thumb, like half your weight in ounces. That's a liter right there, a bottle?
I got a liter right here, and 2 of those a day. Yep.
All right. Well, that's doable.
Yeah.
That's less than what I was thinking. But have you heard that half your weight in ounces a day?
Right.
Would that be somewhere close in the equivalent?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
if you weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces of water a day.
Minimum.
Okay.
Yeah. And I usually, 2 liters is about 60 ounces. So that's usually the minimum I recommend for any adult.
That is quite a bit of water.
And then, of course, you need to watch what your water's put in, too. I drink water out of glass bottles because so many plastic bottles have been found to have chemicals that leach into the water. They have estrogen-like chemicals, and they've been shown to increase cancer risk.
Well, it just makes sense. Any surface, like especially plastic that was just made, I mean, the bottle of that water is going into that bottle got made a week ago,
right.
And it's almost like still going through its curing process, probably. Right. It's not like glass or stone or something. It is off-gassing its chemical compounds.
It's unstable. And then you've got heat on top of that, especially in Southern California. We've all been known to leave our hot water bottles on the beach, in the sun, in the hot car. and you think it's okay to go ahead and stick it in the fridge and then drink it. But that heated plastic especially tends to leach a lot more chemicals into the water.
All right, so we're good on water. And then you said if you really want to get our body more in an alkali state, add lemon to your water.
Lemon or salts.
Salts, like good salts.
Right. Good salts like magnesium, limited sodium, as long as it's the right kind, like sea salt can be added to water. A lot of people just don't like the taste. Calcium salts are also very alkalizing.
But lemon was a good one because if you go to a restaurant, most restaurants will have lemon.
Right.
Squeeze them in. You had the suggestion of sipping water while you eat. The cold water, you want your body to have those acids in there to digest the food.
Right. Optimally, you would just sip a little bit of room temperature or warm water with lemon to really optimize your digestion.
Okay. And then what are some other things that we
Second thing is salt. We're all scared to death of salt because we've been taught, again, in recent decades that salt is bad. Salt causes kidney problems. Salt causes high blood pressure. Well, table salt does, but table salt isn't salt. Table salt is sea salt that has been stripped of all its minerals except sodium chloride and superheated, which actually changes the appearance of the sodium chloride, and then chemical desiccants are added to keep it from sticking together. And so our body doesn't recognize that as salts, and we're very, very deficient in those trace minerals that have been stripped out of the salt and actually sold to chemical companies.
So weird, because I just thought salt was sodium chloride. Salt is salt.
Salt has anywhere from 70 to 90 minerals in it.
Wow.
Depending on the source. So good red Hawaiian sea salt, good Himalayan pink salt. One of the new big buzzes is the Icelandic flake salt. That's been shown to be extremely high in minerals and very healthy and clean of contaminants.
So salt is good for you if it's the right salt.
Absolutely.
But you could still overdo on salt.
You can overdo anything. But actually, in order, I have a lot of patients who come in saying, I'm drinking a ton of water all the time and I still feel dehydrated, or, the blood work looks dehydrated. And it's because they're scared to death of eating salt. Salt helps our body process that water. And people say, oh, no, if I eat salt, I retain water. Well, if you eat MSG, if you eat nitrites like in bacon, if you eat table salt, that is going to cause fluid retention because your body's trying to dilute a toxin, and it does that by holding onto water and putting it in abnormal places. But if you're eating sea salt, your body's going to process that salt properly. The water and salt's going to get into the cells and nourish it.
So a good suggestion would be take salt with you.
Absolutely.
You must take
salt. I have a little Ziploc bag of either Himalayan pink salt or red Hawaiian salt. And I was taught this by my Apache friends that if you're not feeling well, you take a little pinch of that sea salt and it'll perk you right up. And you don't need the caffeine and the sugar anymore.
Just put it right on your tongue.
Absolutely.
All right. And then, so there's two good hints, actually longer. What, something else?
The third thing is eat a lot more greens, whatever you can get a hold of, preferably organic, because you really don't want to be eating and juicing pesticides. You want to be eating those good antioxidants and minerals that are in greens. It's actually been found to be untrue that dairy is a good source of calcium because of, especially pasteurized dairy, because of the way the calcium is bound to the protein. It's very difficult for our body to get hold of. It's called bioavailability. And for instance, the calcium in milk is only about 40% bioavailable to our body, whereas the calcium in broccoli is 80% bioavailable. And so greens are a much better source of calcium. Some studies have actually suggested that milk may increase osteoporosis risk because it causes our body to become so acidic because of how hard it is to break down that we actually leach alkaline calcium out of our bones to help neutralize those acids. So now we're looking at greens as a much better source of calcium and other minerals. So whatever you do, eat more greens. And the recommendation now is 6 to 9 servings a day. You just can't do that without juicing. So I'm a big fan of juicing.
Okay, so give us some good greens to juice or try.
Kale. Kale is number one. But, I juice kale. I juice organic spinach, organic zucchini, carrots. I'll put beets in there. If you want it sweet, you can put half an apple. I stay almost completely away from fruit because I'm a definitely low sugar proponent. You can put berries in there if you want a lower sugar fruit. You can put protein powder in there if you want it to be a complete meal. So there are all kinds of ways that you can get greens. There are powdered greens. Of course, eating greens fresh is always great. I know a lot of people can only eat so many salads in a day, but whenever you can throw, when I make eggs in the morning, I put it on the bed of lettuce or kale or spinach so that I'm getting again, more bang for my buck because eggs are a great protein, but they're acid producing in the body. So the greens will help alkalize or neutralize that acid producing effect.
So how about any of these pre-made juices? If you go to a grocery store and
most of them are junk. Many of them are not organic, and even if they are required to be, with very few exceptions, required to be at least flash pasteurized before they're bottled. Flash pasteurization is a high enough temperature that it destroys all the enzymes in the juice, which slows down the sugar absorption and is one of the beneficial things in fruits and vegetables. It also destroys some of the antioxidant and vitamin power in the food. And then on top of it, they try to make it taste good, right? So you've got these naked Nodoala juices that have all this great stuff in it, but they're loaded with sugar. Some of them have as much as 28 or 30 grams per serving. And if you look at those little bottles, which looks like a whole serving, it sometimes says there are 2 or 3 servings per bottle. So you're getting 60, 80, 90, 100 grams of sugar in a bottle. That's a ton.
Awakening Code Radio is available on podcast. Visit www.kx935.com. Click podcasts, then scroll to Awakening Code's previous shows.